Welcome to CyberCEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. CyberCEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. We're back with another episode of CyberCEO. My name is 𝗙𝗹𝗹𝗶. I'm your host, and we are very lucky to have another special guest on the show, Traci. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
All right, thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate your time. Now, to start, our listeners would want to know more about you. Can you tell us something about yourself, Traci?
Yes, I am a MAPS coach. And I've been coaching full-time leadership coach for 5 years now, going on 6 years. And before that, I joined KW back in 2009 as an MCA. And I was an MCA for about 6.5 years or so. And then my coach helped me determine that becoming a coach was my next vision for my life and the way that I should go. And she was right. And so I actually became a coach for MCA for mastery and leadership, director of ops, agent services, general managers, OPs, about 5.5 years ago, and love every minute of it.
That must be very exciting because you talk to a lot of very growth-minded people then, am I right?
Yes, absolutely. I love talking to leadership because Anna and Keller Williams, that's what we do. We really focus on growth and thinking bigger. And I think that's one of the things that has really drawn me to become a coach, is that myself getting challenged to think bigger and able to pass that on to my clients.
Of course, that thinking bigger is always very important in any kind of business. Now, especially with real estate, right? Now, a lot of our listeners might not know what a typical, let's say, MAPS Leadership Co.'s day looks like. Can you share with us what your typical day looks like, Traci?
Sure. So I focus, I think all of us MAPS coaches may coach a little bit differently. It depends on if we are still in a role in leadership, like at a market center, or if we are coaching full-time and what all. I focus on coaching full-time. So I'm not in a market center at this time. So my client load looks different than some other MAPS leadership coaches. I am full-time MAPS coach. I coach 40 MCAs and director of ops, agent services, the assistant MCAs, et cetera, per week. And I focus on coaching Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, full-time, because MCAs, as well as a lot of leadership coaches, often are going into regional meetings or ALC clinics or other things that they need to maybe reschedule. So I leave my Mondays and Fridays open. Mondays, we have more training calls for coaches. And then Fridays, I leave it more open in case we need to make any rescheduling. My day usually starts, okay, I'm a morning person, so nobody freak out at this, but my day starts like I get up at 5 in the morning and I usually start coaching clients at 6.
Wow.
Because I'm coaching a lot of clients on the East Coast. I live on the West Coast. So it's 9 o'clock for them when I'm coaching. And the cool thing, which we'll probably get into a little bit later, is I'm done at 2 o'clock every day.
Ooh, 2 o'clock every day. So basically your day starts 5, get up, 6, start with the coaching, end up at 2 o'clock. And
Right.
I think for a fact, if you don't mind me asking, the huge reason for this is you have your own cyberbacker supporting you, am I right?
Yeah, that is actually the lifesaver. I can't even explain how much of a lifesaver it is. You know how we talk about at Keller Williams that we build our life by design.
Yes.
Before I had a cyberbacker, I wasn't getting off at 2 o'clock every day, because after my coaching calls ended, I was still doing quite a bit of administrative work. Now I literally shut my laptop at 2 o'clock. See ya, everybody. And I am off building my life by design, which for me is working out and being with my husband and our kids and everything else I've always wanted to do. And I'm able to do it because I have a cyberbacker.
That's awesome. Now, just to let our listeners know, how long have you been working with your own cyberbacker, Traci?
So I've been working with a cyberbacker a year and a half, I want to say. I'm trying to remember back. And it's almost like I can't even remember not having her. So it's like, I don't even remember how long it's been. It seems like she's been with me forever, but I believe it's about a year and a half that we've been working together.
Yes, as we can see, it started late 2019, actually. Now, for your cyberback, can you tell me something about her? The interaction every day. What are the things or the tasks that you have her do? Because a lot of our listeners who are also business owners don't really have an idea of what a cyberbacker can do for their business.
Sure. So it's just like when we talk to our when I talk to my clients, to
Hmm.
leadership clients, and or we're also talking to our agents about leveraging. For me, that's the biggest thing that the cyberbacker does for me is leverage administrative tasks off of my plate so that I can really focus on my clients and focus on their issues
Hmm.
and focus on coaching them and not having to worry about, okay, but I have all of this other administrative work that I need
Yes.
to get done. And what a coach's administrative work is there's a lot that we do for our clients that might be behind the scenes, whether it's sending out like a call recap about our call and action plan and things like that, asking our clients for their 411s or their GPS, or now I can't tell you all my secrets. I mean, sending out like birthday cards and just posting things on Facebook we have a group for my clients, we have
Hmm.
a group chat or a group Facebook page, posting things there. I mean, she does everything I need her to do that would be administratively focused so that I literally can just coach.
And focus on the things that's more important. Again, building that relationship with that coaching client, of course, not thinking
Right.
about the notes and the things that you've mentioned during the meeting. Now, in addition, you already mentioned this earlier, the time factor. How much time has your cyberbacker saved you?
I would say she works. Here's the cool thing for
Mhm.
me. I share her with another MCA coach.
Ooh.
And so I get her like 20 hours a week and another MCA coach gets her another 20 because for me, she's not on every single call with
Mhm.
me. Now, this works with her life by design because she's a new mom. She just had a
Ooh.
baby. So she's able to work during the day, which is my night, and when I'm asleep. So it works out perfectly for us. I do some things, close everything off. I know that at night she's working. By the next day, all my clients have everything that they need, within that 24-hour or 12-hour period, I guess it is. So she will. I get a little lost. Anything? What's the question? I am so sorry. I got
Don't
so
worry,
excited about the things she
the
does for
time
me.
factor.
The time for me, oh my goodness. So I literally, I mean, she's probably saved me at the minimum 10 to 15 hours a week of administrative time that I would have been doing myself. That allows me to go and like I said, build my life by design. So she's working for me 20 hours. She saves me. I mean, we could say 20 hours, but if I
Mhm.
want to be, kind of look at exactly everything she's doing for me, I would say it's at least 15 hours a week, 10 to 15 hours a week, because she's of my time, because she's also pulling reports and
Mhm.
everything like that and getting everything, my calls set up for me the next day. I literally walk in, pull up my laptop and boom, hit the
Everything's
ground
there.
running, review my clients that I'm going to have that day, review the calls that we're going to have, and just hit the ground running. I don't have to pull up reports
Mhm.
myself and then review everything. It's all waiting for me every single morning.
Now, since you already mentioned that it has been a very, very exciting experience, now what we'd like to know as well, because this has been a very successful partnership. Now, my question is, what makes it a successful partnership? Because you can't really start like this by the get-go, right? At the start, day one, not really, right? So what we'd really like to know is what makes it a successful partnership.
Well, I think there's two things that make it a super successful partnership for us. One, I mean, communication.
Hmm.
We have a couple of ways we communicate. We see each other almost every single week on a quick, like 15 to 30-minute Zoom call. We do that every single week. And then we have a place on our Google Doc where we just communicate back and forth with each other. I'll put notes, she'll read them, she'll put notes to me, I'll read them, we'll reply back and forth to each other. And that works perfectly for us. So the communication is a big thing. The other thing is training. And I think sometimes this is where we all get stuck. I have to tell you, I'd never had more of like that executive assistant type person in my life before. So I felt like there was training I needed to do myself. Like there was some, hits and misses sometimes.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I thought I communicated that well. Or, she would say something to me. And so we really worked through that. But I think me training her, which she was so fast to learn, and she's just so good. And it's like that with the CV process. She pushes me. She brings ideas to like help me leverage and let go. And when you've never had an administrative assistant or a cyberbacker before, I think that's the toughest part, is like, she's like, let go, let me. I'm like, ah, it's like jumping off of a ledge. Like, are you sure? And, we had some misses, and yet it wasn't anything that we both couldn't recover from. And that we both got better at, I got better at training, and she got better at, at communicating and everything. And I think together we just made it really work.
Again, this kind of relationship or partnership is a two-way street, right? It has to come from both ways for this to be very successful. Now, earlier you already mentioned a few things that your cyberbacker is currently doing, Jinky. Now, what we'd like to know next is what are some of the things or the tasks that you're considering or planning having her do for your business in the future?
Sure. It's about time that we have a little strategy planning meeting, I think, for our next year. Like, just like we're all doing business planning, it's like, okay, what's next year going to be looking like? So that's definitely something that we're going to be doing. The other thing is, I think, just maybe additional Facebook posts, social media things, working more, I think, with my calendar as I am doing more masterminds and or going into some of my clients, helping me work with like Calendly. And again, this isn't things that Jinky hasn't been able to do. It's more me allowing myself to be trained as well and let go and go, okay, there are more things that she can do. And so, I mean, like I said, she's always done birthday cards. I think we're going to do anniversary. We've got a whole list of kind of an operations manual that we put together for a coach. And so we're going to be working on things like that.
That's exciting, the manual. I think she would be very excited, of course, to give input into that as well, helping you out again, because if you grow, she grows as well, right?
Right.
Yes. Now, my next question is a bit tough. There are no perfect relationships, and you already mentioned that there have been bumps. So, my next question is, what have been some of the challenges, or let's say, opportunities for growth that you've had working with Cyberbacker?
Sure. I think one of the things that I didn't realize sooner is utilize all of, how do I say this? What Cyberbacker gives us for additional coaching, even for Jinky. What at first I don't think we totally realized is that this was her first job out of college. And so with your first job out of college, sometimes you just don't know in a professional world what to do, or, what I would take for granted. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, we should know that. And then it's like, oh wait, she doesn't know that. It's not that she wasn't willing to be taught or that she couldn't do it well. It's that it took a little bit of extra training. So I think then getting Cyberbacker, you guys, I'm not sure how to say it, not her boss,
Her head backer, one who trains her.
The head backer, just to get some of you guys involved to help give her some additional training, and her going to some of the Cyberbacker courses. I think really, I would have done that faster had I understood that would have been a helpful solution. And so I think that's the biggest thing. And I think it's something that we all do. It's like, if bumps are made, or if like mistakes are made, not to catch it quickly and go, hey, that was a mistake. Let's fix it right away. Not just let it go on like, oh, and then you get upset or mad about it. Right. And so I feel like I learned that too. It's like, oh, just get more people involved quicker for everybody's success. And 𝗙𝗰𝗰𝗶 she's an incredible, humble person, and and hungry to grow. And so that has been helpful. So
I love that kind of attitude, hungry to grow. I love that. Now, one last thing, Traci. There are a lot of business owners right now that will be listening to us. So they need your advice because they're trying to think of, is virtual leverage for me? Is a cyberbacker for me? What advice would you be able to give them?
okay. So I had to follow my own advice. And here's what I mean by that is so many times we work with our agents and we do what's called a $ per hour agent exercise. And in that, it is looking at their commission, which I'm happy to do with anybody that would have a question about this. Any agent that's looking to get a cyberbacker, or any leadership person or coach that's looking to get a cyberbacker, because what we do is we look at their gross commission income, and then we break it down. Like, if you had a cyberbacker or a virtual assistant or an assistant, just going by the MREA model, right?
Yes.
If you had someone like that and you were able to just let some things go, how much more dollars per hour you would actually be making. And that allows agents to go focus on the things they're supposed to be focused on. It's like, what the heck? I don't want you to be really good at, 1,000 things like marketing and everything else that you're supposed to be doing as an agent. No, that's the secret sauce of leverage, right? It's like, leverage it off the administrative side of things so that you can really focus on being with your client and getting more business. And I had to take my own advice. When I was looking at everything I was doing and the amount of time that I was spending, and it was scary, I'm telling you, I get what agents feel and what others, business owners feel when you're hiring that first person, because it's like, if I spend this money, am I really going to get my time back the way that I expect to? And I'm telling you, with the right person, you get more than just your time back. And it's even helped in my business making more money, because I've been able to get more clients. And so when I have more clients and I'm doing the things that I love, okay, I know I was an MCA, but there was some administrative stuff even at MCA you don't want to do, right? And so I'm like, I love not doing administrative stuff. I'm like, I really just want to talk to people. That's what I love to do, and coach them and help them with their success. So that's what I would tell you is calculate your $ per hour. How much money could you really be making if you spent the time that you really want to on getting more clients and servicing your clients well? I'm telling you, hands down, it's definitely it's not even an expense. It's like Gary tells us with training and coaching. It's like, there's other things in your quote unquote budget that should go. Those things should never go out of your budget, because you're investing in yourself. And by hiring 𝗙𝗰𝗰𝗶 and a cyberbacker, I've invested in myself.
Yes, of course, that's what you mentioned. I think in every business, in any kind of business, not just in real estate, there are things that you should focus on, that 20%, and you should leverage off that 80%, because, again, as you mentioned, that dollar every hour, that extra dollar that you can make, if you can focus on the things that, again, that 20%. I would totally agree with your advice, Traci. Now, one more thing I forgot. 𝗙𝗰𝗰𝗶 would be listening. I know once we have this online. Would you want to give her a quick shout out on the show, or any words that you'd like to say to her?
𝗙𝗰𝗰𝗶, I love you. Give that baby a kiss for me and a hug from Auntie Coach. There you go. And 𝗙𝗰𝗰𝗶, you're doing a fantastic job. Keep it up.
course, we are very excited to see where your partnership with Jinky would be in the next few years, months, weeks to come. Traci, thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.